Hi, this is Michael Dermer, and in this lesson we're going to talk about what it means to be a deliberate, thoughtful, and emotional leader. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, those words are hardly words that come to life all the time, so let's talk a little bit about it. So why is it so important when you're running a company to be deliberate, unemotional, and thoughtful? I mean, think about those words. You know, the nature of the entrepreneurial beast is hardly that you're any of those things. I mean, I look back on my company and I say, I wish I was deliberate, thoughtful, or emotional at any time, right? And really, when you break that down, it's really important to understand why. In the chaos of an entrepreneurial venture, things are all over the place. And you're the one running the show. And it's really natural to kind of fly off the handle. So let me just break those down a little bit for you, right? First is to be deliberate. You know, things are flying left and right every day in your entrepreneurial venture. You don't feel like you have control of it. And sometimes the nature of what you're doing requires you to react. Like, let's say, for example, you just made a big presentation to a customer, right? And a customer comes back and says, well, I just don't think that's the right solution. You know, your first reaction is to kind of go back at them, to not be deliberate, right? But sometimes, if you take a step back and go slowly and think through it, both yourself and with other people out there, you can actually use that objection from your customer to your benefit. To say, great, I've got a solution for you, okay? Next is being thoughtful. You know, for all the things we lack as entrepreneurs, resources, capital, what we don't lack is the ability to think differently. But in the chaos of the venture every single day, it's hard to actually think. You know, I look back at my company and I kind of kid around sometimes and say, I don't think I actually used my brain for 10 years. But it's the ability to be thoughtful and bring that creativity to life. What first comes across your desk, if you react to it and you don't take the time to think through it, either yourself or with the people that you work with or your advisors, you're really selling yourself short. So take the time to really be thoughtful and bring your creativity to life. And then finally is you have to be unemotional. Think about how hard that is. This is your baby, right? You're emotional about it every single day, okay? But at times we get a little bit too wrapped into it, and we really have to think of things like, how am I serving my customers? How am I serving my employees? How am I serving my investors? And when you take that step back and you really realize that the business exists to serve them, and if you serve them, you will win, that can help you take some of the emotion out of it. So it reminds me of a story from my old company. You know, we were building a technology platform and we found this vendor up in Vermont. And so we used to travel from New York City up to Vermont in the snow and talk to them over and over and over again. And when we were just about to sign them and we were under incredible time pressure to launch our platform, we only had a couple of months to do a lot of the work, right? In the last meeting, we went up there and we really wanted to confirm that they actually knew exactly what we were talking about. And at the time, we were using Oracle databases. And we had said over and over and over again, you guys are great at Oracle. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And in the last meeting, their head of technology said to us, oh, no, we don't really use Oracle. And if you don't think that I wanted to be emotional and kill them at that point, but the point is you can't be, right? You have to take a step back and really get yourself set up to be successful. And if I had reacted emotionally to that, right, I wouldn't have had time to put in place a backup solution to really help. So in any event, being a CEO or the leader of an entrepreneurial venture is not by its nature something in which you're normally deliberate, thoughtful, and unemotional. But that really needs to be your goal. To learn more about this lesson, not only do you have this video, but we've got a whole bunch of written materials right next to the video in this lesson.